about our next topic. Again, I mentioned earlier that we would be discussing making how what you need to know to be successful with Angie Frost and Madison Powell. So at this time, I will turn it over to Angie and Madison.
All right, thank you so much. And thanks, Rachel, that was awesome. I am going to share my screen here. Okay. Can you see that, Courtney?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. So nice to see you all here tonight. I hope you really enjoyed the experiential learning session that Rachel just provided for us all. My name is Angie Frost, and I am the Healthy Living Specialist in the State 4-H office here at Indiana 4-H. And tonight I have Madison Powell with me, and she is one of our state teen teacher team members, and she's from Tipton County. Welcome, Madison. Tonight, she is going to help us understand what we need to know to be a successful teen teacher, and also how to provide a teach back. And you might not know what a teach back is right now, but you will by the end of this session. So what we want you to take away from tonight's session is that we would like to provide you with clear points that you can use right away. We also want to provide you with a checklist of important skills that you're going to need to have to be successful, and also provide you with tools and knowledge for a successful teach back. But first, we're going to get started with an icebreaker. And hopefully many of you have heard about word clouds in the past. And tonight we're going to create a word cloud as part of our icebreaker, so we just can kind of get to know each other a little bit better. And if you'll check in your chat box, I'm going to provide a link to a site called Menti, MENTI.com, menti.com. You're going to need to go to that website and use the code that I also am going to put into the chat box. So once you get to menti.com, there'll be a box there. You put the code in, and once that code has been entered, there'll be another box and you can answer the questions that are listed on your screen. So there'll be one that will ask you, what is one thing you would have to have if you were stuck on a deserted island? We'll do that and create a word cloud, and then we'll reset everything and we'll do the next one, and that is going to be, what is one thing you would miss the most if you were stuck on a deserted island? So we're going to take 3 minutes here, and we are going to give you some time to go to menti.com and put in the code and type in your word so we can create a word cloud with our first question. So in 3 minutes, we will join back up here. All right, there's some really fun things that are popping up. Matches was the first thing. Bible, that's a good one. Lots of bug spray, chapstick. Are you all seeing that? Courtney, can you see the word cloud forming? Great.
Yes.
A phone call for help. That's a good one. Someone said their spouse, so that's an adult with us tonight, hopefully, right? Shelter, a hammock, that's a good one. Wilson, somebody's seen the movie. All right. Well, that word cloud seems to be slowing down just a little bit, so let's switch over to the next question that I have. And we'll form a word cloud for this one. What is one thing you would miss the most if you were stuck on a deserted island? Somebody's going to miss their RC car. Maybe that was a Christmas gift. Lots of animals. I know who put my corgis on there. McDonald's. Do you mean like Old McDonald's farm or McDonald's for dinner? Probably McDonald's for dinner. Air conditioning. I would miss air conditioning too. All right, your family, yeah. Somebody's gonna miss their turkeys. A fuzzy blanket. Might not need a fuzzy blanket if your island is super warm. All right, well, thank you for doing that. I'm gonna exit out of there and go back to our presentation here. Just gonna speed it up a tad. Things that we would really miss. All right, so welcome back from that. That was an exciting opportunity for us to think about some things that we would really miss if we were stuck on a deserted island. So now we are going to get into the lesson for this evening. And that lesson, again, is what you need to know to be a successful teen teacher. And tonight we're going to have Maddie lead us through some things that she's learned from being a teen teacher with us for several years. And I'm just going to turn it over to Maddie now.
Yes, thank you, Angie. So we're going to look at the qualities that it takes to make a successful teen teacher. So leadership and teamwork. Delegate. Know when to delegate as both an individual and as a team. You don't want anyone to get burnt out doing the majority of the work. Respect your team. Listen to suggestions and implement those ideas. You can always step back after and see if the idea was successful. It's important to know when to take the lead and when to be a team player, especially in a group setting. Be careful not to be too bossy or too laid back. Leadership and teamwork work hand in hand to form a successful team. Organization. Goal setting. Set a goal of what you want to accomplish during a set period of time. Remember to set attainable goals and be careful not to overextend your team. Prepare and pre-plan as much as you can before your teach back. Have your supplies ready and your talk presentable. Your teaching will go more smoothly if you are relaxed and prepared. Scheduling. Have one point of contact for scheduling teach backs. This prevents from double booking a teach back. You don't want to have to make a call because you overbooked the day. Block the schedule in advance for both school and family obligations. Flexibility. Adjusting at the drop of a hat. Something big or small is bound to pop up during teaching. You may forget a supply. You may think you're teaching a different age group than the one that you come to. You need to be able to adjust your teaching to meet the situation that you are in. Help your team members. If you see someone struggling with an activity, lend a hand. Sometimes a team member can lose their train of thought, so step in and help the teaching continue. A team member may get sick the day of a teach back, so be prepared to step in. Read your audience. Sometimes what you think is fun and engaging just isn't. Learn to make slight changes during a teach back to grab your audience back. Don't overthink the teach back. A simple but fun lesson can help you connect with your group. Enthusiasm. Have a good attitude. Negativity will not help any situation, so relax and stay positive. Be thankful. What a great opportunity we have to share our knowledge with so many. Be thankful. Thank your team members for their hard work and send a thank you note to the groups to thank them for having you. Recharge. Meet periodically with your team to recharge and work on your teamwork skills. A happy team makes for great teach backs. Communication and listening. They're super important, so listen to your team's ideas and try to implement them in your teach backs. Constant communication of what works and what needs to be fixed can help your team have success. Listen to the needs of the group that you are teaching. You may be wanting to try something out, but if it doesn't fit the group, then don't do it. Listen to the feedback from the group after and regroup with your team to tweak the teach back for next time. Keep good notes so that you don't forget. And your adult sponsor, listen to them. They have the life experience that may lead to a simple improvement that will make a world of a difference. So here's a quick little review of the qualities that make a successful teen teacher: leadership and teamwork, organization, flexibility, enthusiasm, and communication and listening. So now we're going to have about 2 minutes that we're going to stop here and allow the floor open for questions.
So if anybody has any questions about the information that Madison has just covered, you can put those in chat or feel free to unmute yourself and ask those questions.
There's a question: how often should our team meet?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I know for us personally, we like to meet before we have a teach back if it's been a couple of weeks. Definitely at least once a month, depending on how many teach backs you are doing, just so that you can stay connected with each other and keep up on all the information.
You have
If you get-
another, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Zimar.
Yeah, another question is like, if you do get frustrated, what should you do in the session?
So I know it can be really easy to get frustrated, especially with personally younger age groups. So what I like to do is just take a deep breath, maybe see if there's a way that you can tweak the lesson, if something's not working, maybe try something new. And I found that that's a way that you can really evolve in your teach backs.
I'm going to ask one because, I need to. So I'm thinking, Maddie, tell us an example of maybe your most successful teen teacher presentation, and then maybe one that didn't go so well and what happened.
Definitely. So I would think that my most successful was we went to our 4-H council and we did a presentation on how to make a motion. They really, really enjoyed it, and we got to stay for the rest of the meeting, and they were really on it about making motions for the rest of the meeting. So that was really funny. And they really enjoyed it. So it was cool to see the people that, are in charge in the 4-H group and be able to show them, okay, so you helped pay for our opportunity to become Teens as Teachers. Here's what we learned. I know that when I work at the Boys and Girls Club, and I like to bring our Teens as Teachers lessons there. And it was my first day, and I thought, you know what, we should do the bumper cars kind of lesson. And if you're in the leadership track, you know what I'm talking about. And I was with the 2nd grade, and I had about 30 second graders, and I was by myself. And I was like, this is gonna be great. We got this. We're about halfway through, and we were gonna do our first kind of like stop to talk about like what we learned. And they did not want to do that. They wanted to keep going. They wanted to run into each other. So I just took a big deep breath, and I thought, you know what? We're just going to all sit down, not continue to be standing and running into each other. And we're going to separate the people that need to be separated. And it worked out really, really well.
Madison, we have another question for you. It's from Abby Morgan, and she's asking, could you provide examples of groups your team has taught to?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to go over this in the next part as well. But some groups that I have talked to are, like I said, the 4-H Council. It's really awesome to talk to other 4-H groups, such as livestock groups, junior leaders. Our local groups at your school, such as Student Council, National Honor Society, and then other groups in the community, like we have Tri Kappa, which is a sorority local to Tipton, and then also Kiwanis.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Maddie. And as she said, we are going to cover some of that last question in this next section. And there are some handouts on the Teens as Teacher website. And I do believe that one of those handouts does have a huge list of places where other teen teachers have gone to teach. So we will carry on and be available for questions at the end of this next session as well.
Okay, so now we're going to go into, we have the qualities to teach, so we're going to move into planning a successful teach back. In this session, we will discuss marketing, scheduling, checklists, and successful teach back points. So when marketing your programs, you need marketing because you'll have the tools, but you'll have no one to share them with. So brainstorming sessions. Every good idea starts with a great brainstorming session. Get your team together and look at your community. What are the best ways to contact them? Fill a poster board with all the different ideas. Can you email the teachers at an elementary school? Should you do an in-person visit to the Kiwanis and explain your different lessons? How many clubs could you reach through your extension educator? Use all the resources that you have. Handouts. Now that you have these great ideas, make a list and create physical and digital handouts, depending on your needs. A flyer at the library bulletin board or a poster at the extension office are great examples of physical handouts. And digitally, you can create some excitement for teachbacks through social media and emails. Create a business card for your team. You never know where an opportunity might happen. So you can follow up with these people to see when they can fit in your schedule when you have your calendar in front of you. And writing a quick thank you note to previous groups helps to invite them to more teachbacks and have them
Looks like we need to share again, Angie. It got interrupted, I think.
Sorry,
It was
Angie, I
interrupted.
wasn't sure if she was aware or not.
I'm sorry, Steve.
The screen went away.
Oh,
You've
So-
stopped sharing.
While the
Oh.
screen is there, Madison, I love this business card concept. So is that something that you personally tried, and did that work out well in your community? I'm thinking even for adults, that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, definitely. Having a business card was something fun that we kind of came up with together, and I've used it for numerous different clubs. I feel like I have like a stash of them with me wherever I go.
I love that idea. Are we ready now? Or is it?
can you see the screen again?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Sorry about that.
No worries. We're good.
Details will include the name of the organization, contact person, and number at which they can be reached. Teachback details will include when, where, and at what time you will do your teachback. Details on age and what lessons they want would also be included here as well. Technology details. Want to make sure that you have the available technology that you need. But as always, be flexible if they do not have the internet or hookup that you need. And reminders are good for everyone. My team really likes to send an email 1 week before the teachback and a quick reminder call days before to make sure that we're all on track. A follow-up survey is a great way to learn how your team did, and a thank you note is such an easy way to connect back with the group for later teachbacks.
Yeah, and so Maddie, I'll just add that on the 4-H website, on the teen teacher section of our public website, there will be a resources section there, and all the handouts that you just talked about, like the scheduling checklist and teach back details, checklist, all those things will be available on our Purdue Extension 4-H Teens as Teachers website.
Yeah, thank you, Angie. And then, as she said, the teach back checklist. So the more preparation that you do early, the more confident the teach back will feel. So on this checklist, you will create a lesson outline that is detailed so that each member knows what part they're doing and they're prepared. You can make sure to make copies of the handouts you needed for the lesson beforehand. So you don't have to ask the group leader to make copies for you. And then pick out a mixer that is age appropriate and fun. This will help put everyone at ease and get them ready to learn. Supplies. You want to make sure that you have all of the supplies prepared beforehand. If you need glue, make sure that you have the glue or the group knows that they have to supply it. This eliminates any embarrassment of not being prepared. Have your follow-up questions ready to help apply the lessons taught at the end of the teach back. So how can you tell if the teach back was a success? Easy. The group you are teaching should be interested in what you are teaching, be enthusiastic and participate in activities and discussions while asking good questions. And your team should be positive, relaxed, and confident on how the teach back went. So now we're going to have a few minutes here where we're going to pause our video and you'll have some time to ask questions.
Could you please go back to the checklist one real quick?
On the video, you mean, or did you just want her to talk about it?
No, on the video, please. Just like so I can see the slide. Oh wait, the slide's online, isn't it?
It is.
I'll just pull it up online then.
Yeah.
Because I have the right time.
Yeah, because I'm thinking this is a video and I'm not sure how I'm going to go back to that particular thing because it's not a PowerPoint slideshow. So
It's all good.
find
Thank
it
you.
on the website. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any other questions about either section of Madison's presentation?
Madison, I have another question. I guess what tip would you say made you and your team the most successful?
Yeah, so I think the tip would be to have a fun mixer to start. Sometimes when you get into like the meat and potatoes of the lesson, you can kind of lose the kids. But if you start with something to get them really energetic and really excited about what you're going to talk about, they will be all for it for the whole time. And make sure that you ask questions and continue to keep them engaged, have them ask you questions, just so that they are continuing to talk and being engaged with you. That can help a ton.
You have a question on the chat that said, what will be considered as a fun mixer?
So I would consider a fun mixer something where the kids can get up and be engaged either with each other or kind of with their own thoughts, like the one that we did in this lesson where we thought for ourselves, okay, so what is something that we can't live without? Of some fun mixers that I've done in the past, I know there's great resources on the 4-H website, but there's also resources that your educator can get you. Some fun ones are, like we said, the bumper cars one. I always pull that one out. It's really fun because they get to meet new people. There's an element of trust in there, which is fun when you meet somebody new. And yeah, so those kind of mixers.
And Maddie's right there, loads of resources on the website that will help you with those. And if you are having trouble finding an icebreaker that appeals to you, or you're not finding the resources that you need, then just reach out to one of us, either at the state 4-H office or your county extension educator, and you'll be able to find more mixers than you can probably ever get through. So lots of them. Any other questions before we move on?
Some good online mixers too that we did back at the Indiana 4-H Leadership Summit, which is also on the website on a different page, but that might be another resource for you to take a look at.
All right, I'm going to start the video again, and then we should have a couple minutes at the end of that for some follow-up questions. All right, well, thank you so much, Maddie. That was such great information to help us understand what we need to know to be successful teen teachers and how to prepare in order to go into different various organizations or club meetings and teach all the stuff that you're going to learn on February 27th when we all get together with our teams and learn our subject matter specific information. So you might be attending healthy living or computer coding or animal biosecurity. So whatever it is that you're attending, take all of this in and be prepared to go out and spread that information to your community. So as this slide says, thank you and good luck to everybody. All right, so we do want to remind you that on March 9th and 16th at 7 p.m. again, Eastern Standard Time, we will be meeting at the same Zoom link so that you and some of your team members can come back on whichever evening works best for you and provide a teach back. And what that means is you will put together a shortened lesson of about 7 to 10 minutes long, and we'll break you into different breakout rooms with people from various different tracks so that you can all teach back to each other. So then that will give you an opportunity to teach in front of your peers and get some good feedback about what things you could do to make your lesson better or things that that the audience really enjoyed from your lesson. And you'll also get to listen to other people do that as well. So do put on your calendars March 9th and 16th. That information was provided in the welcome letter, and we hope to see you all back here for that. And then we'll turn it over now for some final comments from our moderators. And Maddie and I thank you for attending our session tonight. Have a good evening.
Well, thank you, Angie and Madison, as well as Rachel. We've had a great evening of learning, and I've been super excited to see some of you get really engaged and involved in the discussions, and I look forward to that. It'll be neat to see as we go through the weeks together, the progression of that. So that's really cool. We just have a couple reminders as we wrap up. Just a reminder, next Tuesday, we will be right back here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Time for those of you in the Central time zone. And we will be having some great discussion topics to follow up with the ones that we've already had. And those including culturally diverse youth and adults with Ziamara. And then next week, I will be back with a fellow teen teacher, Annalisa Crane, and we will be discussing workforce development and how to relate this experience into a real life job, because it is, and we are very excited to share with you that. And we hope you have a safe week and maybe get to have some fun in the snow. And we wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you next week.